5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is called Eat Before You Eat. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins, I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these tools and these strategies to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your healthcare regimen. This week's habit is called Eat Before You Eat. Sounds bizarre, doesn't it? You've been told over and over again to eat less, to eat healthier foods, to reduce your portions. And now I'm telling you to eat before you eat? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Before you start thinking that I've gone off the deep end, hear me out. Several years ago, researchers at Penn State University asked participants to have a small snack 15 minutes before lunch. They were either given an apple, apple sauce, or apple juice. These pre-meal snacks were equivalent in calories, but had very different effects on the patients. Those who were given the apple ate almost 200 fewer calories with that meal than those in the other groups. Interesting, huh? That's what I thought when I read the study. Do you think about 200 fewer calories is significant? Yes, it is. If you eat approximately 200 fewer calories each day for lunch, that would translate to about 20 pounds of weight loss in a year. Not too shabby, huh? Why was the apple so effective at reducing how many calories these people ate? Why was having an apple before lunch so effective at reducing how much those people ate during that meal? The answer is that chewing is a very powerful appetite suppressant. Most people think that we feel full and stop eating when our stomach gets full. However, it's much more complicated than that. When we chew, the nerve endings in our jaw muscles send signals to our brain, letting us know that we're eating, and our appetite starts to drop. Have you ever noticed that chewing gum also reduces appetite? It does. Studies from Scotland have shown that chewing gum prior to a meal significantly reduces how many calories are eaten in that meal. The effect is not as potent as the apple effect, but still significant. In the Scottish studies, people ate on average 47 fewer calories with each meal if they chewed a piece of gum before the meal. That would translate to 9 pounds of weight loss in 1 year if applied to lunch and dinner. Not too bad. So the key message here is that chewing reduces our appetite. Use this to your advantage. Make it a habit to have a piece of fruit or a vegetable prior to the biggest meals of the day. Make sure it's something like a fruit or a vegetable that requires some chewing. You're likely to find that you eat a little bit less with each of those meals. The extra fiber and the chewing will serve to reduce your appetite and make it easier to eat less food. The apple effect is a secret weapon as we try to keep our portion sizes in line. This is something that I practice on a regular basis. I try to have an apple before lunch or dinner on a regular basis, and it helps considerably. It helps to reduce appetite and make it easier to keep our portions under control. The next time you come home and you're hungry after a long day and you think you might be ready to consume too much food, remember the apple effect. Eating a fruit or a vegetable that requires chewing about 20 minutes or so before a meal helps to reduce appetite and makes it easier for us to make good choices and keep our portions under control. Remember that study. The people in that study ate almost 200 fewer calories with that meal by simply having an apple about 20 minutes before the meal. Remember this tool. It is a strategy that has been proven to work. Use it to your advantage. Remember the Apple effect. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's habit for healthy living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD and visit us anytime at 5minutemd.com. Let your friends know about the podcast and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. If you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, you may want to check out these episodes as well. And lastly, if you have a few minutes, stop on by iTunes and leave our podcast a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.